What's up, guys? My name is Chris Medina, and a lot of us have already seen Captain America Civil War, so if you have not, there are some spoilers ahead, so please exit if you do not want any spoilers. Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man's future in Homecoming and Black Panther's future in his upcoming solo film. Both had crucial roles in Civil War, and we're going to see what the MCU holds for them according to my theories. Spider-Man was amazing. Peter Parker brought in his teenage ambition, his teenage life, and he mixed in his jokes and, a good old Spider-Man that we all like to see from the comics, classical Spider-Man. I'm not saying the rest of the Spider-Mans were bad, like the Amazing Spider-Man that Andrew Garfield played, or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but this one, Marvel and Sony finally managed to create the perfect Spider-Man. Spider-Man's role in Civil War wasn't that huge. He came out towards the end, kind of, where Tony Stark recruits him to join his team to fight Cap, and he's seen in the trailer first when he takes Cap's shield. There, he begins to fight. He fights Cap, where they share that Brooklyn Queens moment right there. He gets to fight some of the other Avengers, and it's really funny when he tried to get up, and Iron Man said, "No, you're done." He's like, "No, I can keep going," but then he said, "Yeah, I'm done." So it was really funny to see him, and he was really awesome. He was crawling like a spider, using his powers. Spider-Man was amazing. His powers were just brand new. Only had them for half a year, 6 months. He was crawling like a spider. He was using his web shooters, swinging around, being awesome at super strength, using his abilities to help out Team Iron Man. And he was really awesome. The Peter Parker version was awesome, nerdy, smart, not perfect. We got to see a high school version, which was awesome because we've seen like Spider-Mans in their mid-20s. And now let's discuss about what the MCU will hold for Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets his upcoming solo film, Spider-Man Homecoming, which is based off the comic series. And I have a lot of interesting theories that you're going to like to hear. So let's start off with Spider-Man's main villain. There are rumors going around about the Vulture being Spider-Man's main villain in Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, I did have my doubts when I heard this because Vulture has not exactly been a huge villain, not as a big threat. But once I got to see Spider-Man in action in Civil War, I'm gonna say that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the Vulture. Now, my theory is that the Vulture will possibly be involved in Hydra because when they were using Bucky and using those words, they kept appearing as Homecoming. I think the Vulture might be involved with Hydra somehow. Maybe they give him his wing set. I don't know, but that's my theory. The Vulture's true identity is known as Adrian Toomes. There are a lot of backstories about him, but I think Spider-Man will have to fight him. And, we don't know if the Vulture will have a huge role or will he just be like Crossbones having that small beginning role. I think that if you're going to make the Vulture the main villain, you have to make him really good. You have to show why Spider-Man's fighting him. And my theory is that he's involved with Hydra, as I said. Maybe Hydra is kind of using him as an agent and they're trying to track down Spider-Man now that they know that he's on the government side. And maybe, just maybe, Iron Man might help him team up to fight the Vulture. Or, rumor has it that he might give him the Iron Spider suit to take down the Vulture once and for all, if he can't take him down at the beginning. Alright then, let's discuss about the end credit scene in Civil War. In the end credit scene, the Spider-Man one, actually, it was basically Spider-Man, Peter Parker back at his apartment, tending a couple of injuries and a serious black eye, and Aunt May checks in and she asks what happened. He says that he got beat up by Steve from Brooklyn, which was hilarious. And then we get to see his web shooters that have been, spiced up, juiced up by Tony Stark. And when it appears, it shows this Spider-Man logo on it enlighted on the roof. Now his web shooters showing this are similar to Iron Man's three-dimensional this technology, and this is similar. It's also appearing in the Spider-Man series, the animated Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors. This appears, and maybe that they're gonna be throwing in some old Spider-Man cartoons in there to help with Spider-Man Homecoming. Alright, let us shift our attention to the Spider-Man Homecoming plot. We've got the villain down, we've got how Spider-Man's going to work with Tony Stark. Let's talk about the movie. Not many casts have been recruited yet. We've got Zendaya playing as Michelle, and they've also recruited 2 other people to be Spider-Man's, classmates. I think that this is going to be focusing more on. Well, no, I know they're going to be focusing more on Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, as a high schooler, which is awesome. We get to see him as a high schooler, as this nerdy version, and just how the comics have always portrayed him as. Now, I think Hydra is going to be involved with this. I'm not saying the Winter Soldier is, but Hydra will be. Well, they might be involved with this due to the words known as Homecoming. Perhaps Hydra will be plotting to get at Spider-Man, attack him, or send the Vulture after him, and they're probably up to something, trying to, get to him. Now, what is concerning me the most is the fact that if Hydra's in this, are they plotting to take down his Aunt May or take down some of his classmates? I don't know yet, but what we do know is that there is going to be the Vulture in it. They haven't cast him yet, but there are rumors about getting some specific character who played Birdman, and Hydra will be. Well, I think Hydra will be a huge part in Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man might have to team up with other people to fight him. Let's talk about Iron Man's role now. We saw Iron Man as he recruited Peter Parker in Civil War. That's when they first got to me, recruited him to fight Captain America. Now I think he's trying to do is he is going to be in the movie, and what I think he's trying to do now is help Spider-Man out, learning his new powers. I mean, he did make his suit in Civil War. Now I think he might give him he might just say, I'm working on this new design, the Iron Spider, and he might give it to him after Spider-Man fights the Vulture, and he might fail, or he just might lose because Spider-Man's learning his powers. And so far in Civil War, we didn't really see when Iron Man was showing him the tape footage. We only saw him save cars and stuff like that, fighting thieves. We haven't seen him fight a supervillain yet, which I think, since Spider-Man's new to his abilities, fighting the Vulture will be kind of helping him get better. So I think when he fights the Vulture for the first time, he is going to lose, and then he's going to go to Iron Man for help. Iron Man's going to give him the Iron Spider suit. He's going to be like, okay, here's your Iron Spider suit. Go and take down the Vulture. I would like to see them team up, like Iron Man get in his new Iron Man suit, and Spider-Man fight alongside him, but that would be a huge disadvantage. But it would be awesome to see them if Hydra and Vulture were fighting Iron Man and Spider-Man. Alright, finally let's talk about Hydra's role. As I mentioned before in Civil War, Baron Zemo is using that notebook that Hydra was keeping to use it against Bucky as some kind of command. But in those words, there was Homecoming. It kept popping up in my head when I saw the movie. I was thinking Hydra would be involved in Homecoming. And yes, I think it would be most appropriate to have Hydra involved in this. Because in the comics, there is Adrian Toomes, who is a Hydra agent, and perhaps Hydra decides to give him some kind of... They give him the Vulture suit, the wings, the extra features, and they're telling him to take down Spider-Man or something, because they know that Spider-Man, he is on Iron Man's team. They know that he is out there. So I think they're going to help support the Vulture and help him fight Spider-Man. Now, I do think, however, that Hydra's role won't be as crucial, but I think it will help set up a plot detail for the Spider-Man movie. But I also do think that, yes, they will help the Vulture out, but I also think that they should also give more significant roles to other villains, like Norman Osborn. He was Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comics, and maybe he is working for Hydra, helping them out. Maybe we could get at least a mention of Norman Osborn as a Hydra agent, which would be awesome. Alright, this is now that I've covered down Spider-Man's detail, let's talk about specific things. One, we don't want to see old villains like Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, Doc Ock. We've seen enough of those villains yet. We've basically given up on understanding the Green Goblin. It's been too confusing. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 Green Goblin was a huge mistake. The original Spider-Man movie series was pretty good. I just think that, it could have been a little better. They gave him a metal suit instead of the old costume. So let's ditch the Green Goblin and stick to the new villain, Vulture. Or we could even throw in a new villain like Anti-Venom, Carnage, Kraven the Hunter. Spider-Man is full with some of the most powerful villains ever. Even like the Shocker. You've got a lot of toys to play with, a lot of villains to throw in there. So you got the Vulture, good. But what we don't want to see is Green Goblin. We would like to see Norman Osborn, but not as the Green Goblin, just as a Hydra agent or something like that. Now that we have Spider-Man covered, let's switch to our other new superhero, the Black Panther. T'Challa had already put on the costume, and based on the movie, I think he has been running around as the Black Panther for quite a while now. We didn't have to see an origin story, but we did see is how he decided to hunt down the Winter Soldier by putting on the Black Panther suit after his father was killed in the bomb. I think that the Black Panther solo movie might take place before Civil War events, kind of giving us an intro of Black Panther, or it might take events after that, giving up the aftermath of Civil War. With the Black Panther movie coming up, it would be a lot awesome to see either one of them, an origin story or the aftermath. With Black Panther, we last saw him in Civil War in the post-credit scene when he was giving Captain America and the Winter Soldier, aka Bucky, asylum. And the Winter Soldier, we last saw him, he went into deep freeze, and Black Panther T'Challa was giving them asylum to protect them. In the Black Panther film, we would like to see a lot of things. We would like to see a villain he could fight, or maybe just, how he protects Wakanda from certain people, or maybe how he protects the vibranium, or how he became the Black Panther with the suit. Either way, the options are countless, because the Black Panther, he isn't really throughout known as having many villains in the comic series, but it would be awesome to see that happen now. Let's talk about the Winter Soldier now. We last saw him in the end credit scene with his arm blown up by Iron Man, and he's going into deep freeze until he can find a cure for his brainwash. I don't think we'll be seeing him for a while. We might see him in not until maybe Avengers Infinity War, or maybe we might see him in the new Black Panther movie with, Black Panther kind of giving some mentions, maybe a cameo, because he is in Wakanda in deep freeze, so it would be awesome to see him in Black Panther, with even some cameos or mentions. And now let's talk about what the fate of Captain America's team is. We last saw them as Captain America broke them out of the raft prison where they were in the middle of the island, and now they are fugitives, run from the law. The government looking for them, and Iron Man even knows they're innocent. That's why he didn't go and stop them. So I think what holds for them is that we will see them appear, but I think that it's going to take a while before the government can accept them as who they are, as good people. And then I also think that the Accords will possibly break and fall at some point in the MCU. It would be awesome to see the Accords fall, get the Avengers united again, because the theory is that Hydra maybe possibly made the Accords so this specific thing can happen, that the Avengers would be divided, and if they're divided, they would fall, really. And that concludes my theories and analysis for the aftermath of Civil War. Please comment if you liked, and if you think I made any mistakes or you like to throw in a couple of theories, just comment below. And comment if you want me to analyze another movie or another possible movie coming up, or maybe some character's crucial role. Thank you. My name is Chris, and subscribe and comment if you liked.